At night, inside a grand mansion, a plate shatters into pieces, flinging fruit across the floor. A woman angrily yells into her phone, calling the other person useless for letting go of such a good opportunity to kill Dark Shadow. She questions how someone who has worked with the authorities for so long can be completely useless at a crucial moment. She demands revenge, saying she doesn't care about the reason. Since that person killed her entire Dongfang clan, their blood must not be spilled in vain. No matter the method, the Dark Shadow must pay in blood. The woman furiously scolds someone over the phone, reminding them that their elders were all killed by the enemy. She questions what they are hesitating for while gripping her phone tightly, unaware of the boy silently approaching behind her with a chained weapon. The creepy boy stands holding a bloodied woman by the hair. He says he has a plan to kill Dark Shadow. The woman, now slightly more composed, asks the boy named Nanshan if he has any method. She points out that the Divine Abandoned game only allows people aged 18 and above to enter, so he isn't eligible yet. Nanshan says even if he can't enter the game, he can still use his brain. He recalls how Dark Shadow enjoys killing and suggests they frame him for a crime, then assigns certain people to his father's tobacco field and prepare in advance. The boy explains that when Dark Shadow goes on a killing spree, they will detonate the entire tobacco factory. That place, filled with fireworks, will become his grave, showing the world his end. And if the plan fails, Dark Shadow won't be able to trace anything back to them. The woman smirks at the plan and acknowledges the boy's intelligence, saying they underestimated him. She praises how useful her son turned out to be. While holding her phone, she warns that the plan must remain secret, as the authorities still want to protect Dark Shadow. However, she's concerned that her older brothers won't support this method. She ends the call by saying she will personally arrange everything related to the plan. The woman asks the boy if the captive still refuses to give up her life. The boy apologizes and admits he accidentally killed her, unable to hold back his impulse. He scratches his cheek with a shy smile, saying he unintentionally beat her to death. Elsewhere, in the Divine Abandoned game's Magic City ruins, a woman is struck by a powerful pink lightning slash mid-battle. Glowing orbs rise into the sky as a few people suddenly drop dead. One player shouts in shock, saying they were instantly killed. Another suspects someone hidden must have attacked, and they conclude it must be Dark Shadow. Shadow swiftly eliminates another enemy with a precise blade strike. Golden orbs explode in all directions as players scream in panic, telling each other to run. They say Shadow has gone mad. Players shout that Shadow is rampaging through the battlefield, killing without hesitation. Fear spreads as no one can stop his deadly advance. Meanwhile, Shadow stands calmly by the shore, gazing at the sea under a bright blue sky. He decides this peaceful location is perfect and selects it as his hidden extraction point. A system prompt asks if he wishes to consume 1315. 2 years of lifespan to bring the soul-cleansing ground hideout into reality. The system notifies that the hideout is an underground building and asks Shadow to confirm its placement. He calmly stands by the water as waves crash around him. The system prompts a warning. All objects overlapping with the extraction zone will be destroyed. Shadow confirms the action without hesitation. The sea parts as a massive ancient fortress rises from below. The extraction is complete, and his hideout is now fully materialized. With determination in his eyes, Shadow says it's time to retrieve the Book of Divine Bestowal. A soldier rushes in and reports to his superior that someone has been killing players. The superior seems confused at first, but then explains he had already sent someone to investigate, and the incident seems tied to a rare boss named Golden-Headed Killing Demon. The boss has a very high stealth level, making it hard to detect. As he explains, golden orbs float from the corpses of players who were instantly killed. A female player stares at the scene in disbelief, saying her level 3 stealth detection skill couldn't even sense the boss. She's shocked by how powerful the enemy is. Another player boasts that it's only because he didn't see the boss otherwise. He could have handled it alone. He then admits the boss might be even scarier if Shadow himself shows up. The green-haired girl nervously tells him to lower his voice before the boss hears them. The team decides to move to higher ground for a better view. As they rush forward, one of the players steps on a banana peel and slips, causing a chain reaction that knocks others down. They all lose HP in the process. While trying to recover, one of them curses whoever left the banana peel behind. Suddenly, a powerful enemy attacks with a glowing pink slash, forcing them to dodge immediately. A female enemy appears and launches a deadly strike. The girl shouts in panic as her teammates, Zayawatu and Hayabo, are hit and disintegrate into golden particles. The enemy advances fearlessly. One player yells, "Disgusting," but prepares to fight. He draws his weapon and confidently challenges the enemy, saying he's not afraid. The female enemy slashes downward with a glowing pink blade, flipping a player high into the air with a brutal kick. The player barely dodges the next attack, shouting that he moved too late and curses at his mistake while mid-air. She follows up with another spinning kick, slamming him into the ground again with overwhelming force. As the enemy keeps dashing and flipping multiple players effortlessly, one of them glares up, frustrated, demanding she come down and fight properly. A player, dizzy and overwhelmed, starts to lose consciousness, saying it's reaching his limit. Meanwhile, the masked enemy prepares to strike again. The female enemy vanishes for a moment, confusing her opponent, only to suddenly reappear and slam him into the ground with a powerful stealth break strike. The impact is fatal. The player is instantly killed and turns into glowing particles. Suddenly, another figure appears and counters with a stronger move called True Stealth Break Strike, dealing massive damage of 28,560 to the enemy with a surprise vertical attack. A few minutes before Su Feng arrived, chaos had already erupted. Players angrily accused a girl of messing up a skill, which activated a terrifying boss. They pointed at her, saying the boss followed her and respawned at the revival point with her. She stood silently in the center, overwhelmed and blamed from all sides. Tearing up, the girl softly apologized and said she didn't do it on purpose. Nearby players demanded she be kicked from the team. One refused to team with someone like her, fearing they'd die without even knowing why. Another warned everyone to lower their voices, afraid the boss might come again. A soldier tells the girl she doesn't suit combat roles and assigns her to search for hidden locations instead. He explains that finding a gold-level hideout earns 3 years of lifespan, while a platinum one earns 10. He adds that he initially thought her hidden class was a treasure. Now he's disappointed. The girl receives a system notice saying she gained 2 days of tradable lifespan. The man says he'll grant her lifespan daily to avoid waste from repeated deaths. She thanks the leader quietly. Nearby players express frustration. One angrily says it's unfair she now gets to meet the leader every day. Another claims it's all part of her scheme. A third one mocks her, calling her a cunning fox spirit, and says they had to go through the same thing too. The leader asks if her name is Zialuo. Just then, a golden light emerges from the ground, catching their attention. The enemy lies defeated, her body shattered and glowing. The leader and other players watch in shock as Shadow stands calmly in the middle of the chaos. One soldier panics and tries to attack a fellow player out of confusion or fear, throwing a punch in the commotion. Amid the chaos, the girl in the purple cloak floats upward, surrounded by energy, while the players around her look on in surprise. The girl looks shocked as something grabs her from behind. The players near her also react in alarm, realizing danger is near. One of the soldiers suddenly punches the girl with full force, launching her high into the air. She flips uncontrollably from the impact. From the ground, Shadow watches silently as the girl ascends, while a sinister voice laughs ominously. In the sky, multiple robotic enemies appear. As she rises helplessly, one of them prepares to strike her midair, while Shadow observes from below. 2 players hide and count in disbelief, realizing there are 5 enemies, not 4. One was already taken down by Shadow, which explains the overwhelming presence. They're facing multiple clones. The girl sees Shadow standing nearby and shouts his name in relief. She believes she's finally safe. As she falls from the sky, she screams for help, reaching out toward Shadow while calling him, "Dark Shadow Brother, save me." Shadow's golden eyes light up with intensity. He activating his skill, Instant Shadow Slash. As the girl falls, an enemy reaches out to grab her mid-air. But just before impact, Shadow's blue energy blades slice through the enemy. Massive damage numbers appear as Shadow's attack lands on all the enemies, each taking over 33,000 damage, instantly eliminating them. The girl is saved mid-fall, surrounded by golden orbs of released energy and life force. Shadow calmly watches from the ground and remarks on the clean kill. Shadow raises his hand to collect the rewards. Aside from the boss's 1,520 days of tradable lifespan, it also dropped several glowing orbs containing the untradable lifespan it had taken from other players. A cheerful girl waves at Shadow, asking him to sell them any items he doesn't need. Shadow silently thinks to himself that these people truly have no shame. He tells them they've arrived at the right time since there's something valuable in another location. If the price is fair, he can guide them there. The group excitedly agrees. One of the men tells a few others to follow him, but stops the girl named Anu, saying she can't go. When she asks why, he says bluntly that women aren't allowed. Anu pouts and asks if Shadow is discriminating against women. She strikes a seductive pose and suggests she tried to seduce him, only to realize he might actually like men. Anu annoys Shadow with her flirty behavior, prompting him to flick her forehead to shut her up. Shadow then explains there's a divine core tower outside the northern city wall. Clearing it will reward players with valuable items. However, since the NPCs inside are highly discriminatory, any team with a female member will face 10 times the difficulty. As Shadow prepares to depart, Anu and another red-haired girl cheerfully wave goodbye and decide to hunt monsters nearby instead. Shadow invites a few male players to follow him. One of them is nervous, realizing it's his first time teaming up with Shadow, while another gets excited, calling it a rare chance to learn from a top player. The students struggle to keep up with Shadow's fast pace, shocked by how quickly he dispatched monsters. He calmly reviews the loot, noting that 20 items dropped, 2 of which are suitable for his class. One of the drops is a dagger called Forest Bone Blade Jade, which boosts armor penetration and agility. It also increases movement speed after dealing damage and gives a dodge chance during teleportation. Shadow equips a glowing new sword, impressed that its stats are nearly 80% higher than his previous one, and it also boosts strength, armor penetration, and agility. He also acquires a platinum-grade Shadow Blade skill card, which deals high dark element damage to nearby enemies and applies a random buff effect upon hit. Shadow evolves his Shadow Blade skill using 56 points, enhancing its base damage significantly. The upgraded version now deals damage in tiers from 600 to 1500 and has a chance to trigger a platinum grade buff. It also reduces cooldown time by 78%. He walks through the ruined city, wondering where Wang Zhang and the others went. The streets are quiet as he moves forward alone. Meanwhile, one of the wounded teammates comments that even Shadow's walking speed is hard to keep up with. Another lies on the ground, saying he can't move anymore. The team struggles to keep up. One of them grabs another by the leg, dragging him while cheering him on.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.